Welcome back. So, what we just saw a few minutes ago was a choice on whether or not we were going to date Lucas, or if we were going to play the field. Which one are we more comfortable with? Chat, are you comfortable with Lucas? That's number one. Or maybe we want to see what our options are. That would be number two. As we determine our future in love to this wailing organ music. Almost unanimously, saying number one, go with Lucas. That's what you want to do. That's what we will do. And that's what we've done. Well, I know there's a ton I still need to learn about you, but if I don't get some food in me, I won't be worth anything to either of us. I have a whole basket of fruit on the kitchen table, by the way. Lucas picks up your hand and kisses your palm. I'm so glad you understand. Understand? I'm thrilled. Vampires themselves are sexy, but you, darling, take the cake. Why don't you go take a shower, and I'll get some coffee started. You feign a swoon. Promise you'll never leave me. Lucas looks at you seriously and whispers, I promise. This sends a shiver up your spine. You don't know if they let vampires in heaven, but you're pretty sure you're there. You lift up your hair and fan the back of your neck. Ah, yes. Lucas's eyes widen. I know this seems premature, but you should know that the moment I saw you, I knew you were my destiny. You remember back to the first moment you saw him, when you had the thought that you would marry this man. Maybe you felt the same thing he did. You just didn't have the vocabulary or knowledge to express it properly. How so? You say as lightly as you can muster. The star-shaped mark on the back of your neck. My birthmark? What about it? It isn't a birthmark, it's a sign. You are the one who can help my family overcome evil. You open your mouth to respond, but Lucas holds up a hand to stop you. Hear me out. There are two main families of my kind in this area, the Jaros and the Bugattis. I am one of the Jaros. We have done all we can to be peaceful and to be kind to those who share our earth. We refuse to drink human blood and instead subsist on the life force of vegetables. How do they do that? The Jaros have also taken on the great responsibility of maintaining the balance of order of life and keep the Bugattis in check. The Bugattis are evil and observe no rules except that of their own hunger and need for chaos. They were the men you saw earlier, the ones I protected you from. But that did not happen in this playthrough. That happened in another reality with another person. Remember when we were attacked by vampires alongside Lucas, but that did not happen now. Maria Renard should have no idea what he's talking about. The Jaros have also taken on the great responsibility of maintaining the balance and order of life, and to keep the Bugattis in check. The Bugattis are evil and observe... Was that just repeated? No. They actually kidnap humans under the guise of putting them on a reality show. Oh my god! You exclaim. Lucas nods. They keep them as livestock, milking them for blood, and selling them to vampires around the world. There is a great battle coming between us. It was predicted many years ago, and we need as much help as we can get to overcome the Bugatti and free their human captives. The legends foretold of one who shall be marked with a perfect star, one who shall have the power to win the war through one final battle. I suspected it was you, and all was confirmed when I saw your mark. You put your hand to your forehead. I don't even know what to say. Don't say anything. Go take your shower, and we can talk more about all this when you're ready, and you've had your coffee. This is all just getting crazier, but you're loving that this guy wants to take care of you like he does. Turn to 146. So apparently there's a subplot with a reality show? Oh wait, no, next page. Yep, there we go. Comfortably clad in yoga pants and an off-the-shoulder sweatshirt, you sit at your kitchen table with a cup of coffee and a breakfast bar. Lucas picks an orange out of the basket at the center of the table. He looks at you for a second, and then his fangs pop out like twin ballpoint pens. We saw that before. He hungrily sucks the juice. So, okay, he bites the orange and then sucks the juice out of it, because that is, I don't know, that's the equivalent of sucking blood, I guess. Some of it runs down his chin. It's not the sexiest thing you ever saw, but after last night, he could run around with half a chicken suit on, and you'd be ready to jump on him again in a heartbeat. How did I get to be the chosen one? You ask, breathlessly. It's your bloodline. Yeah, direct descendant of Joan of Arc, we know about that. I thought she didn't have any children. It was a secret child, cared for by Freemasons. Joan of Arc could see things that other people could not see. Let's talk about, yeah, there's Cleopatra. We remember that. Emmanuel Bugatti. Yeah, Cleopatra came before Joan of Arc. It's complicated. Don't worry about it. We remember that. Anyway, what was I saying? Lucas continues. One of your ancestors turned up in Salem in the late 1600s, the moment the Bugattis, who were in control of the judicial system in Salem at the time, found out women were having visions. They put everyone on trial. In those days, it was easier to put everyone to death than to see if a Puritan woman had a star-shaped mark. Virginia Dare, Amelia Earhart, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, we remember these things. But I don't have visions, you say. Are you certain of that? Think back. Right, you were a weird little kid who knew what was going to happen. You were hospitalized, 3rd grade. Yep. That's the same backstory we saw in the other playthroughs. Where's your car? Lucas asks. It's in the lot out behind my apartment building. As you lead him around to where you park your car, you think back to the visions from your childhood. They were usually right before someone was about to get hurt, and they really freak people out. Lucas breaks your reverie, softly murmuring, "You okay?" Yeah, I'm just thinking about my visions. I had blocked out most of those memories. Well, they're different from what you think they are. They weren't actually predicting the future. You were seeing people's weaknesses. Not only does each individual vampire have his or her own weak spot, so does every vampire family. If you cultivate this power, you should be able to defeat any enemy. Turn to 144. The way Lucas drives your beat-up, yet reliable, Hyundai hatchback, you'd think it was a vintage sports car. This man really does have a way with his hands. Lit up by the dashboard lights, he looks even more beautiful than he does in regular lights. Otherworldly. You sit in silence, fiddling with your shirt sleeve. It was a leap of faith to go with him. You really hope that you were right to trust this man, this being. The music when you wonder about if you should trust someone. He's taking you all the way around the south side of campus, driving straight for the forest. You haven't been back this way before, and you didn't know there were any roads through the forest. You wonder where exactly he's going, and at that moment, he turns off the main road, winding through a dirt road that cuts straight through the forest. How are they going to receive me? You ask, timidly. Are you kidding? They've been waiting for you just as long as I have. Lucas turns the car down another road and into a denser part of the pine forest. If you didn't know there was a road there, you'd miss it. Moments later, he pulls up in front of a sprawling 1960s modern home with simple lines and huge windows. At the moment he pulls the emergency brake, 4 people crowd out of the house, a buxom older woman with a flyaway bun pushing her way to the front. She flings open your car door. That's rude to open someone's car door, and pulls you out, enveloping you in a warm hug. Welcome. I'll think of a voice later. Welcome, dear, she says with a huge smile. We've been waiting for you. Turn to 84. Couldn't fit that on the last page, I guess. Lucas's family is warm and inviting as they crowd around the kitchen table. They shuffle you into a chair at one end, eager to hear what you've learned, and to tell you what they know. They introduce themselves. There's Mary, Lucas's adoptive mother, older and with a sweet and sweet with an air of all-knowingness, that's not a word, about her like Queen Elizabeth with some extra poundage. Gideon is Mary's romantic partner, or is it Gideon? I'll pronounce it Gideon. But he's clearly more like her companion than her co-leader. You get the feeling that Lucas calls the shots almost as much as Mary does, and that she's been grooming him to take over for a long time. Gideon is so totally the Prince Philip in this scenario. Then there's Lavinia, the beautiful younger sister vampire, with flaming red curly hair and a perfect figure, who seems quite excited for your arrival. You've never seen a woman who was that captivating in person. This is good theme music for that kind of character. Her beauty literally takes your breath away. She smiles sweetly and insists on sitting next to you. There's something about her that draws you to her. You feel like you've known her forever before you've exchanged a word, even before you've exchanged a word, and you get strong the feeling you are going to be great friends. And finally, Seth, the strapping younger brother type, muscled and quiet, like an adorable farm boy. This group has clearly been together for many years by now. They finish each other's sentences and bicker like a real family. They talk over each other in a jumble until Mary finally holds up her hands to silence everyone. Oh, LP-Bot couldn't do this. LP-Bot knows nothing of love, of vampire romance and boyfriends. I must apologize for my family, Mary begins in an enchanting southern drawl. We have waited for you for so long. I can't do a southern drawl. That we are just too excited to finally have you here. I trust Lucas has filled you in on the major details? Lucas nods at her, rubbing his hand across your back to show you his support. So you know how dire it is. We have to do something about the Bugatti livestock farm, Camp Delicious. I thought they grew apples there. Too many humans have gone missing. They're getting out of hand, and they're giving all of our kind a bad name. Mary smooths the front of her dress. Now, do you know about your visions? Yeah, you nod your head. I used to be able to see the future. It may have seemed like that at the time, Mary responds. What you are actually sensitive to is vulnerability. If you can use your sense to zone in on the Achilles heel of the compound, we can defeat the vampires and hopefully not have too much collateral damage. It's time to end this once and for all. Lucas leans forward. We don't think that they know she's the one. Yet. You nod your head. I know how bad the situation is. I'm prepared anything I can do to help. Gideon looks at you long and hard. Anything? He looks at Lucas for approval. He nods at him. In order to assure our victory, you must be as strong as possible. That means becoming a vampire. Okay, you did say anything. Well, that's one. Number two is that sounds pretty drastic. Okay, chat. Big decision time. Number one, become a vampire. Number two, no, we'll stay as a human. And this is very appropriate music for such a decision. Not a decision to be made lightly, but a decision to be made with very tense music in the background. Okay. It looks like... yes, it does not look like this is going to be close, but it looks like that the contingent that says we need to stay human is taking the lead. Some people voting for 3 and 4. Don't vote for 3 and 4. There's no 3 and 4. The music agrees there's no 3 and 4. Looks like number 2 is taking it. Number 2, we're staying as a human. Screw you, Gideon, I guess. Okay, I know I said I'd do anything, but this is a lot to process. I don't think I'm ready to make an eternal commitment here. Does it say in the legend that I have to be turned to be able to use my gift? Lavinia shakes her head. It's too bad. Is this also Lavinia's theme music? I was really looking forward to you becoming a part of the family. You aren't sure, but you think she looks especially disappointed. You realized how much you were looking forward to getting to know Lavinia better. You realize that you're disappointed too. Boss fight against Richter? Isn't this the boss fight against the succubus? Or am I not remembering this correctly? Lucas takes your hand. It's truly up to you. I believe you can win this even if you aren't as strong as you can be. We'll be there to back you up. We need to get started with your training right away. We don't want to lose any more time. What do you think? Do you want to waste some time training, or are you ready to kick some evil vampire butt? Alright, another decision. Do we train with number 1, or do we not train with number 2? It doesn't really say. I mean, most of you right now are voting to train, and that seems logical. It does not really give a reason why we should not train. If we can train before fighting vampires, shouldn't we take that option? There doesn't seem to be a reason not to. Alright, you're saying we'll train. Lucas takes you into a small room and sets 2 chairs facing each other. He motions for you to sit in one and asks you to close your eyes. He slips a satin blindfold over them. You think you like it. He sits across from you and instructs you to close your eyes and see what happens. You concentrate on focusing your mind. You can feel your face screwing up. Lucas reaches out and places his hands over yours. I'm trying, you squeak out. Stop trying, do, he murmurs. So now Lucas is your Yoda. Cute. You hope he'll get to ride around on you later. You smirk. Now you're distracted, Lucas says. You can hear the smile in his voice. Your thoughts must have been all over your face. You try to remember if you licked your lips. Probably. Lucas lights a scented candle. Here, he says, placing it in your hands. Concentrate only on this smell. You breathe in peppermint air, do a little bit of yoga breathing, and finally find a blank space in your brain. You see only black. You try to hold on to it. Now, imagine my face. The peppermint scent is replaced by cedar. Ah, yes. The most chill music for training. The air in front of your face vibrates. He must be leaning in close. You are overcome by feeling. And then you see white. Everything glows, and then you see money? Bank accounts. Lucas's family's money is vulnerable, and it is their lifeblood. You tell Lucas what you see, and you can feel him smile. He kisses you on the mouth. It's been a long time since you were kissed while blindfolded. What? You forgot how sensual it can be. Excellent work, Maria Renard. Now we need to find the fault in the Bugatti's defenses. He holds up a sock. This is Mr. Socko. This belonged to one of them. Smell it and see if you can... Is she a dog? Come on, Maria, find the evil vampires. See, this is their socks. Smell it and track them down. He wants you to smell an old sock. What do you think you are, a bloodhound? You snort at your own inadvertent joke. You suppose you're actually a bit of a bloodhound? Huh? Bit of a bloodhound? You get that? You see what they did? You suppose you actually are a bit of a bloodhound? You get the joke, right? You breathe in. Bloodhound? You breathe in and are unpleasantly surprised to find that in vampires, in fact, do have stinky socks. You have a vision of a gorgeous, tall, dark-haired man. He looks familiar. The image fades. You push up the blindfold and blink at Lucas. I'm gonna have to go there, to where they are. Their livestock farm, Camp Delicious. I don't think this is something I can do remotely. Round up the troops. Lucas nods. The crew prepares to go into battle. Before they can do that, what are you exactly? Okay, so we don't have a choice. This is just basically asking us which choice we did make previously. If we were a vampire, we'd be able to pick this. If we were a slayer, we wouldn't be able to pick this. We're just a regular girl, which is okay by me. So we just stayed not a vampire, not a slayer, but just regular old Maria Renard, who has the ability to call animals, life force of animals, in Castlevania, but she doesn't do that here, apparently. Alright, this is pretty good music to ride into battle with. The next thing you know, you're riding in the dark in a van with Lucas, Seth, and Lavinia. Mary and Gideon stay behind in case they need to rally back up. Seth is driving. Seth is driving? How can that be? He turns to speak to you. Now, I don't have a voice for Seth. Now, keep your mind open as we enter the compound. If you sense anything, let one of us know right away, okay? Lucas, who's sitting next to you, turns and speaks in a low voice. Stick close to me, he says, and take this for protection. He presses a wooden stake into your hand. Put it right through the heart of anything that attacks you. He puts his hand on your thigh. I promise I won't let anything happen to you. You lean your head on his shoulder, breathing in his cedar scent, trying to slow your racing heart. I can hear your heart, he murmurs. Try to relax, unless it's not nerves. You can hear him smile in the dark. I am pretty dead sexy. His joke makes you chuckle. He strokes your thigh, and you nuzzle closer to him, trying to clear your mind. You've almost drifted off to sleep when you sit up suddenly. Surveillance cameras, you say loudly. Lucas jumps. What? You call to the front seat. Seth, they have surveillance cameras. They must be disabled as we go. Lavinia nods and holds up a sound-suppressed sniper rifle. Okay, she's trained in firearms, I guess. You point them out. I'll take them out. She winks at you. What a badass. You're totally developing a girl crush on her. Seth turns back and says, Gotta love those multi-purpose silver bullets. Lucas chuckles. Our Lavinia has the best long-range rifle skills of anyone I've met, and you can imagine how many people that is. You nod, admiring Lavinia's slender silhouette. She is amazing. And there we go, Camp Delicious. Seth cuts the engine and rolls the van to a stop next to a sign that says Camp Delicious, and a split-rail fence that you imagine encircles the sprawling ranch. As the gang spills out of the van, you try to clear your head to feel the vibes. Did you train? We trained. Oh yeah, we trained. You better believe we trained. You take Lavinia aside and list off the 15 video cameras you sense on this side of the property. She hugs you, whispering in your ear, Thank you and be careful. I'm really glad you're here. Before she sets off to shoot out the cameras. You're glad that she's here. You are drawn to the back of the main building and point in that direction, whispering to Seth and Lucas, Back door! The others don't need flashlights, being that they have superior night vision, so you hold tight to Lucas's hand and hope that he doesn't lead you into a brick wall. You trail the boys across the dark expanse of lawn around to the back of the main structure. Seth motions to you as you come up next to him as he quietly opens the unlocked back door. You creep in behind him and find yourself in the kitchen. You close your eyes. You feel a strong pull to your left and look to find a yellow door. It swings open at your touch, revealing a dark set of stairs. You creep down the stairs as Lucas follows you. Seth stands guard. You find yourself in a hallway with many doors. You get a feeling about the green one at the far end, so you creep toward it. You hear a voice inside the room, so you grab Lucas's hand and pull him down with you to peep through the keyhole. His breath is on your neck, sending chills through your body. You keep a hold of his hand, but you have to will yourself to concentrate. Yep, there's a keyhole. You squint through the tiny keyhole opening. Dramatic keyhole music. The room is filled with monitors and a switchboard with a young blonde girl standing in front of it. She looks to be about 6 years old, and her hair is slicked back into a bun. She's wearing a tiny suit and Surrey Cruise high heels. She keeps pushing buttons and hissing into a headset. What's going on with our cameras, Boyd? You know in an instant. Her. She is the key to all of this. If you can kill her, you will be able to defeat the Bugattis. Okay, so she is the master vampire of the Bugatti clan, I guess. One of the doors at the other end of the hallway bursts open, and a hulk of a guy in a trucker hat and overalls steps through. He doesn't even see you and Lucas at first, and hustles along like the White Rabbit. This must be Boyd. Lucas silently motions for you to handle the girl, while he turns to face Boyd. Well, Maria Renard, like the song says, it's now or never. You push open the door. The girl whirls to face you. How did you get in here? She hisses, her fangs popping out. You hold up the wooden stake, poised to take on this mini monster. I'm here to end this once and for all. You feel a little bit like an action hero. Teeth bared, she lunges at you. You back up quickly and she falls into some monitors, sending them crashing to the floor. She grabs your leg and tries to bite you anywhere she can get a mouth hold. You kick her off and run to the other side of the room, looking for something to block her with. You're the chair. You pick up a side chair and wield it like a lion tamer. You really wish you had a whip. She had you backed into the corner with no way out. You look toward the open door across the room from you and hear sounds of a struggle. You wish Lucas would hurry up out there. "Who are you?" The girl spits at you. "I think I know who I am," you say, trying to borrow some courage from your lame action movie lines. She stops and takes a step back, tilting her head like a dog. "Let me see it," she says, hypnotically. You have no choice but to show her. You put down the chair, tuck the steak under your arm, and gather your hair up off your neck, turning to show her your birthmark. She inhales sharply. You quickly turn back to face her, wielding the steak again. "Whatever you want," she says softly. "Anything in the world. You can have it if you just come to work with us." Well, can we be bought? Number one is, of course, we can't be bought. Number two is that we can't say anything. I don't know what that means. What would that mean, we can't say anything? It doesn't look like we'll find out, because most of you are saying we cannot be bought. And that sounds about right. Maria Renard does not have a price. Your mind tingles, and you sense that if you pretend to accept her offer, she'll let her guard down for a minute, and then you can kill her. Did you say anything, you say? Okay, that's what they meant. Did she say anything? Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. It means that we gave him to the bribe, alright. She nods her head. Name it! Well, you pretend to think, and the girl subconsciously leans forward. She clearly doesn't know what to expect from you at all. What I'd really like, you say as you suddenly lunge forward and stab her in the heart with the stake. She turns to dust. Thrill surges in your heart, in your chest. There can be only one. We did not decapitate her. There's no Sean Connery anywhere. Okay, enough with the geek references. But you do seriously feel like a hero. Like Wonder Woman, and She-Ra, and the Dazzler? Alright, that's not what I would think of, but... And Batgirl, and your mental hero montage is interrupted by a soft knock on the open door. You whirl to find Lucas. He puts his finger to his lips and picks up the headset that the girl was wearing. He puts it on his head and starts talking into the mic. I need everyone to report to the kitchen immediately, Lucas says in a perfect imitation of the girl's voice. How about that? Oh, Dazzler? No, Dazzler is Marvel Comics. She is a disco superhero, at least when she first showed up. She shoots light out of her hands. She was in the Capcom... What was it? No, Konami, I think, was it? X-Men arcade game from the 90s. She's never been really a main character. Though if you look up her costume when she first started, her disco costume, it is pretty fantastic. Alright. He throws off the headset and turns to you, hugging you quickly. Well done, Maria Renard. He grabs your hand. Let's go. The two of you run up the stairs to find Seth, who is right where you left him. Plan 182, Lucas says mysteriously. Seth nods and runs off. You instinctively know what they're going to do. Wait until all the bad vampires get to the kitchen, then firebomb the house. Yes, Order 66. Turn to 264. Oh, this was the ultimate ending. Alright. We need to go set all the livestock free, you whispered. No, that's us talking. We need to go set all the livestock free, you whispered to Lucas. You pull him through the back door, and down toward the converted barn, where all of the human captives sleep. You sneak past a pack of vampires going toward the main house, and hurry down to a path with a huge red barn. There is a 3-foot-high piece of machinery to one side that looks like a generator. It sits just off the path, and is surrounded by trees. As soon as you see it, you know. It runs an invisible fence that prevents the livestock from escaping. You point to it and whisper to Lucas, "We have to destroy this." Lucas nods and pulls a huge tree up by the roots and bashes the unit. You stand back and observe how his muscles bulge through his shirt while he does this. You do admire a strong man. The unit sparks and then falls apart, emitting a cloud of smoke. You run ahead of Lucas into the building, throwing on the lights. The people awake, sitting up, blinking and looking around. You see Cindy sitting on one of the beds, and you run over to her. "Cindy, are you okay?" you cry. She blinks at you, recognition slowly dawning on her face. I think so, she says slowly. "Are you going to be on TV too?" You shake your head. "You're not on a reality show, Cindy. I'll explain later. Just come with me." Cindy puts a hand on your arm. "Where's Alyssa?" Your heart stops. "Is she here?" you ask quickly, looking around. Cindy frowns. "I thought she might be with you." You let out a sigh of relief. "If she isn't here, then I'm sure she's fine." You guide Cindy out of the building. Lucas falls in step with you. "Who's the big old cake of beef?" Cindy says, looking Lucas over. Lucas smiles at you. "Her future husband?" he says, hopefully. You smile back at him. The three of you walk out of the barn just in time to see the main house explode. Yellow and orange flames lick the sky. Lucas takes your hand as Seth and Lavinia run over. You know that you have fulfilled your destiny. Seth grins. "Let's get out of here!" Lavinia gives you a meaningful look. You meet her gaze and you can feel her approval. It makes you happy and proud. This amazing, strong, capable vampire woman is impressed with you. As she should be. You kicked total ass. You, of course, become famous. Not famous in the non-magical part of the world, but everyone in the supernatural realm knows exactly who you are. You are loved by the good, feared by the bad, and get free stuff wherever you go. It's kind of perfect, because you always wanted to be somebody, but also retain a little bit of anonymity. It also turns out there was a hefty reward for defeating the Bugattis, so much that you could retire right now and just live off the interest, if you wanted to. But you've also gotten all sorts of lucrative and fascinating job offers, so many that you have to hire a personal assistant, Alyssa of course, and a personal stylist, duh, Cindy. You've never looked or felt better. The ever-industrious Alyssa has cataloged and prioritized all of your opportunities, and you have a plan to sit down and go through them. After you take some time off, of course. You've earned it. Well, that takes care of your financial and professional life. Now, what about your personal life? Lucas has been there with you since the beginning, helping you, protecting you, being hot. He made it clear that he wants to marry you. But then there's one other option, one that you probably haven't really considered yet. What about Lavinia? She's been subtle about it, but you're pretty sure that she digs you as well. She's a gorgeous, strong, capable vampire woman who would do everything in her power to make you happy. So you have one last choice. Well, chat, we have been searching for a vampire boyfriend, but it might end up with us getting a vampire girlfriend. It's up to you. How does the story end? Is the twist ending after all? That we get a vampire girlfriend instead? Is that the M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end? That there was never going... Well, we had the option for a vampire boyfriend, but in the end, the twist was that we chose the vampire girlfriend, eschewing the vampire boyfriend that we could have had. This music is so dramatic as we make the final choice, and it looks like there is no competition here. Vampire girlfriend won. In the end, even though we were going for a vampire boyfriend the whole time, in the end we realized what we actually wanted. Even though we had the chance at a vampire boyfriend, we willfully decided a vampire girlfriend. Over the past 10 years, you've learned so much about happiness from Lavinia. The Jaros family is thrilled to have you as part of their clan, and you and Lavinia are everybody's absolute favorite couple. Sure, it took Lucas a few years to come around, but now he's as big a fan as anyone. He's become a wonderful friend to the both of you, and gives you the best anniversary gifts. You've recently begun writing a travel book together, and are working on visiting every single country on the globe. You use the opportunity to do outreach wherever you go, teaching vampires how to be socially and environmentally conscious. In addition to a house you had built on the Jaros property, you have homes in Tahiti, Laos, and Venezuela, and you go to sleep every night, snuggled up to this beautiful woman, knowing that you will never want for anything again, least of all, love. The end. And there it is. I think that we finally reached the end, once and for all, of Vampire Boyfriends. We chose the correct path. We found the way. We defeated the vampires. And in the end, we could have had a vampire boyfriend, but the twist was we decided to reject the vampire boyfriend and accept the vampire girlfriend. And so that is how our story of Strangelove's Vampire Boyfriends ends. Well, this took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but it was, I think, a lot more interesting also than I thought it would end up going. Well, no, we did not have a vampire boy. Well, yes, we had a vampire boyfriend, but we did not end the story with a vampire boyfriend, which is what I thought is where we were going with this. Alright, so there were achievements that we did not get, but... where is that? Oh, there it is. We found the ultimate ending. So... campus map. Let's take a look at that. Yep, that means absolutely nothing. That we don't actually use that at all in the game. We don't actually have to know where anything is. There are achievements left that we could get, but I really do think that this is the end of the story. I mean, just because we, in previous videos, we were failing to get a vampire boyfriend. We ended up in all sorts of different endings. I think that this is acceptable as the final ending because we could have had one. It was right there. But you, chat, you consciously, willfully made the choice to reject the vampire boyfriend. So I think that means that we have reached the end. Is there better music that we could end this on? Of course. So that's it for Vampire Boyfriends. We'll have to come up with something else to replace this now, as we get together week after week. What could possibly replace Vampire's Boyfriends? It'll be difficult to live up to this, really. Well, we have time to figure that out. As for right now, the Vampire Boyfriend saga is over. We'll be right back in a few minutes with something else for tonight. But congratulations, because we finally reached the end of Strangelove's Vampire Boyfriends. Strangelove's Vampire Boyfriends, we will never forget you. You are the wind.
Just like the sun, just like the sun, when my day's done. Sometimes I don't like the person I've become. Is the enemy within a thousand men? Should I walk the path my words so bad? Someone testing me every day I live. Well, the best in me is all I have to give.